is up for reelers?
Woo!
Coming at you from Los Angeles, still in quarantine. I am Tyler.
And I am Greg.
And this is For Real.
For real.
Greg, after a week off, how you feeling?
I'm
Still in
feeling
quarantine?
Still quarantine, but I feel energized. I've been reading a lot. I know that last week, we apologize for that. I'm basically in charge of social media, and I should have put something out saying that, we weren't putting out an episode, but it feels good to be back. It feels good to be alive. And I've been doing a lot of soul searching, honestly. Been trying to work on myself a little bit more, try to get a little bit better at what I do and who I be. Tyler, how you been?
I've been good. Just working on the website. Still seeing a lot of movies. Just because of something that we're going to do a little bit later. I did count the number of movies that I have seen up until this point. Right
Where
now,
we
93.
at? How many days have gone in the year so far? Like halfway through the year.
6 months, 30 days, 180 days.
180 days. So 90 movies? 93, you said?
Yeah, 93.
93 movies in 180 days.
Give or take on the days.
Oh my goodness. I'm still at 25. So 29. 29. I'm at 29.
Wasn't expecting you to keep up with me, but you're gonna get on that level soon.
I could not keep up with you, Tyler. I could not keep up. That's a whole nother level of movie watching. That's endurance right there, guys. If you could watch more movies than Tyler, we need to have some sort of competition to see who watches more movies. Because Tyler's ridiculous. Not with me. You don't want competition with this. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll outright win. Unless you're one of those guys that watches 9 movies a year. You're very selective. I thought I was selective, but I'm not that selective. Tyler, we are back again. This is episode number 37. I know I don't do that intro at the beginning, unfortunately, but it's episode 37. We're here, and we got an action-packed show for you guys, as per usual. I know that you guys are going to enjoy this as I do, and Tyler does. Tyler, we got some news for the folks. Tyler, if you want to hit us off with our first news topic.
So, the award shows are doing a little bit of shuffling. The Oscars are no longer in February. That will now be the Golden Globes, at least for this coming year, with the Oscars moving to April, I believe, is when it is.
Mm-hmm.
And any movie that is released up through February of next year will be eligible for the Oscars. What does this mean? What is this? Is this something that's going to hold and take shape, for down the line for the future? I honestly don't know. I get it. I hope that this is just a this year thing. The award shows already are kind of drawn out to me. Like, I just want to know who wins. I know you question their relevance anyway, Greg, but
I do.
Good.
No, I was going to say, I know that, with this happening, it's probably going to affect the way in which the award is viewed, at least from the spectator part of things. And then we'll see how it affects the industry itself in terms of the attendees and the winners and nominees when it comes to that. I know that for them, at least from my understanding, especially through our last Oscar Awards For Real special, my understanding of it is that it has marketability to it. So I don't think that it will go away, but I believe that the structure is going to change. And we do have another story here related to that structural change, if you want to just jump into that real quick.
Yeah, so before I do jump into this, I do want to say we also already know that VOD movies are eligible for Oscars if they were already planned to have a theatrical release. So that is another change at least for this upcoming Oscars.
Mm.
But the Academy looks like it is following through on its promise for diversification. They have invited 819 new members as of yesterday, Tuesday. This is 36% people of color and 45% women. They invited actors such as Anna de Armas, Brian Tyree Henry, Florence Pugh, Lakeith Stanfield, directors such as Lulu Wang, Ari Aster, Matthew Vaughn, really trying to keep the Oscars relevant, essentially. I mean, it's good that this diversification did need to happen. It was for too long run by old white men who kind of pushed everybody around. It's good to not only see all these people included, but I think it will provide people with a much more interesting Oscar ceremony, because these are very talented, very opinionated, very diverse in their ways of thinking people that they have added. And I think it will provide a lot of flair for the Oscars going forward that they honestly need.
It's I think the thing that I see the most is that there's diversity, but there's also a level of youth that's been added to the voters. So that's really good. I think that this is the winds of change coming. I've been having a lot of winds of change thought when it comes to this whole corona, our new state of being, this new uncharted territory that everyone is trying to navigate. And this is proactive, or no, this is reactive by the Academy. This should have happened years ago, but
Yeah.
things happen when they do happen, and they happen for a reason. I think that the corona situation is allowing a lot of industries and institutions to sit back and listen and not do the majority of the talking. So some level of listening is happening right now, and they've added quite a diverse and prolific and intelligent group of people to their members. So I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see what happens.
There is a part of me that wishes that this wasn't like, yes, it should have happened a long time ago. I wish that it weren't happening in such a weird year. And I know that it will take a few years for the influence to kind of come to the forefront, and we'll actually start to see difference. It's not going to happen. It was never going to happen for this upcoming Oscars anyway.
Yeah.
But I wish that it had a better year to start off in, rather than this year where everyone's just kind of like, oh, we don't even know what movies are going to be eligible at this point anymore. Like there's a slate of movies that's been set, but we don't know when they're going to come out. We don't know. There's still a lot of things we don't know.
Yeah, especially seeing that going into our next topic, Hollywood, as well, mainly Hollywood, mainly the Los Angeles region, is having reopening dilemmas. So it seems that, so Disneyland's reopening was delayed. A statement made by Austin Lynch, director in Orange County for Unit Here Local 11, said, "We can't afford to get this wrong. Once the theme park opens, we've essentially opened California to the world. So it affects the whole community." What are your thoughts on this, Ty?
I think it's smart. I know that they wanted to open Disneyland on July 17th for an anniversary. I forget which anniversary it is, but there was something special about the date that they were aiming for. That, I mean, it's a real risk right now, honestly. And I think that they wisely realized that, and rather than focus, like, the anniversary, fine, we can probably post some social media thing about it. But they have wisely moved on and are just waiting to see what happens, much like the movie industry as well. Tenet and Mulan just moved to August. Tenet towards the middle part of August, and Mulan at the end of August. And film and TV shoots are starting back up, and kind of like how FMLA President Paul Audley said, day to day, everything can change. They're going to take their guidance directly from the health department, and if they think it's time to pull back, they'll let the industry know that. The industry,
Yeah.
I get that they want to get back to work, and there was a brief window where that seemed like it was going to be possible, but it's not. Movies keep moving. The cases keep getting higher, so we want to protect ourselves as best as we can.
Yeah, and it seems like everything is kind of influencing the next thing. So even though I think that the opening up of Los Angeles in general, or California, kind of gave those in authority some sort of foresight or a little bit of information as to how the customers will react to it reopening. So I could only imagine if you open a movie theater or you open a theme park, especially somewhere like as renowned as Disneyland or as loved as Disneyland from the customers, that they're going to start rushing back, and it's going to be almost impossible to hold to a certain guest limit once they get there. Could you imagine that you have one of your year passes and they decline you because they've reached their absolute limit, which they were announcing would be 25% of the theme park's capacity? And then
Yeah, I was
what are
going
you
to.
gonna like what are you gonna do for your employees as well? Because now, as Disneyland, business sense states that if you're gonna have 25% less guests, then you should have 25% less employees working in that situation. However, it's going to take probably the full staff of doing, high surface touch areas to be clean. You're going to have guest services. You're going to have ushers. You're gonna have to pour in more money into that business to have it operate the same way that you would have if you were at capacity.
I know myself as a season pass holder, reading the rules of what they were going to do once they reopened. As you said, they were only going to do a capacity limit. You had to sign up for what day you wanted to go, and once they were full, you were done. So it's not like you were necessarily wasting a trip up there only to be turned away. No, you sign up while you're at home, and you pick your day to go. So at least they were trying.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Disney is also kind of desperate for money, which is also why they were, which sounds weird to say, at
It
least.
does sound weird to say. I
But
was like, desperate how? What, they missed the billion that they would
well,
get for this quarter?
I kept reading stuff that Disney was hurting for money now that Disneyland was closed, and with the theaters and stuff like that. I was like, don't they have like vaults of money somewhere that they could just like Scrooge McDuck in? But I mean, but I don't know. Like
Yeah,
that's the thing, we don't actually know.
no,
But I just know whenever I'm at Disneyland, there are tons of people there, and that is not a cheap place to go if you want to
no,
spend a day. So
no.
maybe it really did hurt that much. I don't know, but that is also a reason why they wanted to rush back outside of the anniversary. But uh, they tried, it didn't work. At
Yeah,
least they didn't open and everybody just get the virus, and they can just continue not being open, no harm
mm-hmm.
done.
I
So
think
that's
that
good.
the main issue that a lot of people are seeing or not seeing in this situation is that the virus is an enemy you can't see. It's not something that you could open your eyes to and be like, this is real. For some people, it's not. For some people, the impact hasn't hit yet because you haven't been affected directly. So for all the people that have lost a loved one, they understand this more than anything else. And I'm sure that they weren't even going to risk it at that point. And for Disney as a business, they have also, as well as all the other businesses that have been impacted by the virus, know the impact of this as well, at least in the pocket, not emotionally.
Yeah.
And we see that follow suit. So Disneyland delays its reopen, and it delays its delays one of its movies to August. And now we have the theaters who, just a couple of weeks ago announced that they would be opening in mid-July, have now announced that they're going to be opening closer to the end of July, especially here in LA and in New York, which are the two busiest movie-going markets in the country, if you didn't know. So I know that, a couple weeks ago, we've been reading articles that Cinemark was not going to uphold to the mask wearing policy, got slammed for that. AMC
So
got
did
slammed for
AMC.
that, right? Now we're seeing a complete 180. It seems like public opinion really has a power here that that's helping move this, at least in the most ethical direction. And the movie theaters, I know that right now, at least those top three are thinking about their pockets being impacted. But with no movies to play, what's the point of opening in mid-July?
Yeah, if there's nothing there that's gonna bring people in, which if you'd asked me a month ago, I didn't think people would show up to movie theaters. And then, I would drive around, at least when restaurants were open here in LA. They've since been closed down again, restaurants and bars. I would see them packed with people and thought maybe people will go to the movies. Maybe, they're getting kind of wound tight and want to go out and do something. So maybe that is a big possibility. So, the theaters definitely want to be able to capture that at a good rate. They want to be able to have as many people inside their doors as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And with no movies to show, what's the point?